Hello and welcome to sunny Wales. Today I'm in the glorious Cwmcarn Valley and I'm riding the Peddlehounds descent. Let's get to it.
The Peddlehounds trail is a long black graded descent on the hills of the Cwmcarn Valley. This trail is an alternative descent at the end of the red graded Caffel trail, where you have the opportunity to continue on the red trail around the hill or take this harder line straight down the hillside. Following the orange markers, the Peddlehounds descent takes you across fields and through forests. It has its fair share of interesting features and interesting landscapes, but the terrain is loose and gravelly with a few surprises thrown in. But getting to the start of the trail is actually harder than you might think.
So of course the best way to get to the start of the Peddlehounds descent is by riding the Caffel trail. But the Caffel trail is a very long and rather steep undertaking, and I've already ridden the Twitch trail this morning, which is the steep red on the other side of the valley, so I certainly don't have the legs to ride another half of a trail uphill. So I'm going to try something a bit more direct to get to the top of Peddlehounds. This could be absolutely brilliant, or it could bite me in the ass. Let's see.
And as fate would have it, today's video is actually a lesson on how not to ride the Peddlehounds.
So I basically spoke to a couple of guys in the car park who recommended this like sheep trail, but it basically goes up the side of the hill, so it's really steep. It's definitely a hiker bike. So I've just started it now and I'm going to push basically straight up this crappy little sheep trail. It's getting warm and I've got a long way to go. Let's get cracking. So I'm currently pushing up like an old access road. It's clear that it hasn't really been used properly in a long time. But this is a bit of a dog leg, so it goes up and it should come back on itself and take me towards the start of Peddlehounds. So yeah, the push up is getting steep. Oh. It's a hot day for a hiker bike. So if you're someone who's on an e-bike, the better option is probably to ride the start of the Caffel trail and then work your way along some of the fire roads, cutting bits of the trail out to make it up there as quick as you can. But yeah, I'm still not regretting my choice. This may not be as fun as riding my bike, but I mean, the views are amazing. Not that you're going to see that on GoPro.
But after a long leg burning push up, I made it to the top.
So here we are finally at the top of the Peddlehounds descent. So the Caffel trail comes from this direction towards me and heads off behind me. And down there, that's the Peddlehounds black descent.
So after a few minutes to rest my aching legs, it's time to drop in. Like you, I'm seeing this trail for the first time. I've been told that there are some interesting features on here somewhere, but that's all I know. So let's find out. The first section heads towards the old wall before turning left across the field. It looks like one of the easier sections on the trail, but you are riding in a rut full of loose gravel, and although it's not a very steep section, it comes with its own problems. All in all, this is an introduction to the Peddlehounds trail with nothing too hard to navigate, apart from a few small rollable rocks. With its flowy demeanour, it feels more like a continuation of the red trail rather than the start of a black, but don't worry, there are harder sections to come. So just enjoy the easy flow and undulating terrain. Across the field and you drop into the woods. This trail starts gently and flowy, but it certainly doesn't stay like that. Still navigating the dusty surface, the rocks of the previous trail have been replaced by roots and tight switchback corners, which are both prominent features on the upper part of this section. With a bit of foresight and some quick manoeuvring, you can maintain your speed through the tight turns, and in the dry, the routes felt like nothing more than bumps in the road. At this point, the trail speeds up a notch and you fly towards these relaxed looking jumps. Despite them not looking very shapely, you naturally get air over them without even trying. This section down here definitely gets faster and you can really let loose with the riding. You can tell that this trail is well ridden and it's certainly worn in a few places. It doesn't really bother me because I like riding natural trails, but for a trail centre there are certainly a few places that could do with a bit of maintenance, but nothing that affects the fun of the ride. Not knowing the terrain, I was on the brakes a little more than I'd like down here, which did hamper me towards the end a bit. because there are a couple of alright tabletops that I definitely didn't do justice on, but still a pretty fun section of trail. This section is called Kaiser and it's filled with plenty of drop features, and it's all done at a pretty fun pace too. There are a couple of lines that you can take down here, and this being my first time down, I had no idea which way was best, but I want to ride as many awesome features as possible. Being in the forest at this time of year, you'll have to contend with all the fallen leaves. Because it's dry, they don't cause any problems with traction or anything, but the leaves cover up potentially hazardous features, like roots or rocks. But the main issue with the leaves is that they make it hard to see exactly where the trail goes. And following what I thought was the main line was often a line that went around a feature rather than over it. Like here, where I thought I was on the main line, whereas actually I want to be over here, riding the good features. Approaching it again, this is the line that I assumed was the trail, and this is where the trail actually goes. It's easy to see why I went wrong. But no harm done. Knowing where the trail goes is nothing that can't be solved by riding the descent again. However, the problem with this section of trail is that it only really gets ridden as part of the Caffel Trail, and it's difficult to ride it on its own like I am today, because you either have to hike up the hill like I did, or navigate all the way along the uphill fire roads. So people rarely ride this more than once. So when people do ride it as part of the Caffel Trail, they get here and they're tired, they don't know the line or the features, therefore they tend to go around them rather than riding over them, which makes the main line of the trail harder to follow. This is nothing major, but I would be disappointed if I got to the bottom of this trail and I'd miss some of the best features. Back on the trail, and we're fast approaching the bottom of the hill. With all the drops, twists and turns, you're actually descending at a pace faster than you might realise because you're so focused on where you're going. With this short uphill, it looks like you're still really high up in the valley, but you're actually only one or two descents away from the end of the trail. So rolling down here, I chilled on what I expected to be an uneventful gully, but I was wrong. This last feature is an amazing looking tabletop, which I was going too slow for. What a cool feature to finish the trail, and I wish I'd known it's there. A little airtime would have been the cherry on the Peddlehounds cake. As you come out back onto the road, you're actually not finished yet. Most people don't know that there's one more short section to the Peddlehounds. This last gravelly blast towards the car park takes you over a smaller drop and winds through some trees. So with this one coming to an end, there you have it. A good descent at the end of a long day's riding. With tired legs and no idea where I was going, I wasn't riding my finest ever, but man, I had a lot of fun, and I'm sure you will too if you get to ride this. So thanks for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe for more awesome mountain bike content and give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you down in the comments.